In the studio right now, Francis Shonubi, he will be our next analyst on what is going on. Francis, good afternoon. I think it's afternoon now.
Good afternoon. Good
nice to see
Matthew.
you.
It's nice having you.
Great.
Yeah,
now, the election in Edo State is very strategic when it comes to election and all of that. And right now, indigenes are going there to exercise their franchise. Before the election, there was the issue of peace. That has been the emphasis there because of the level of volatility. The Oba of Benin called for an accord, and then the former head of state, Abdulsalam Abubakar, alongside his peace team with Bishop Kuka and others, made them sign peace pact. We also have seen warnings from the US government, the UK, saying there's going to be a ban on visa restriction and all of that. What is all of that, the impact of all of those on the process?
Actually, Matthew, like for example, if you look at it, Edo, as you rightly said, is more cultural and historical. Why the foreign partners now looking at Nigeria is because, I'm talking about the visa restriction, is because of the leadership role. You know, in Edo is a cultural country, is a cultural state that has a lot of attention because of what they have. If you remember during the, we are talking about the European period where they came to pre-colonial period, they came and took a lot of artifacts from Edo. So the Europeans are looking at Edo, and Edo is strategic. As you rightly said, if you take, let's say, Bauchi, look at Bauchi, the way they are voting pattern, Edo happened to be one of the sensitive states in the terms of election. And concerning this election and the way we are looking at it, they have to be relative peace, because it's a state that we have to enjoy peace. And this election, we have to sound the message to them, peace. Before now, you see the governor and the past governor, which is the former ex-chairman of the party, APC, and
let's just leave out the issue of political parties and personalities away from there. We focus more on the people and what they feel. So let's get to what issues you feel are driving the way people, the Edo people, are going to vote today. What issues do you think are on their minds?
The issue basically is, let me say this, that, Edo, this election happened to be the first election after the ease of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And the people of Edo, they were looking at an issue. The issue is concerning their standard of living, the standard of living. And now that the COVID-19 have caused a lot of damage in the economy, and if you look at it, the people of Edo are now thinking the person that is going to be the leader, that is going to take the mantle of leadership from these two gladiators, should be someone that can make the economy more flexible for them. So the issue now is food on the table. The Edo people are now looking at, is this election, whoever is going to mount this stage should be able to provide a ease after this pandemic, that they can now have food on their table, because people are hungry out there. They are hungry. So we should look at it. That is the issue they are looking at. Who is going to take us to the next level? Who is going to provide the cushion effect so that we can come out and then we can have food on our table? So people are looking at that.
All right. Prior to the voting that took place today, the last week, from the reports we got, videos went viral of some people who, in fact, there has been merchandising of vote buying, and in fact, marketing of votes. We hear in some of the places, voters were even advertising their votes for the highest bidder to come take. What impact do you think this is having on the process? Because we feel, or the expectation is that for every extra election, we should get used to doing it better and better. But from the area of vote buying, the situation is not the same.
Actually, if you look at the situation we find ourselves, and I will keep on saying it, because we analyze and we see things being organic, dealing and hearing from the people, is that everything boils down to the leadership. When I say leadership in this area, I'm looking at people look at government as like a Father Christmas. They believe that they're sharing money. they don't believe, they don't see the government doing what they need to do. So they are now looking at it that...
But if you look at the constitutional responsibility of government, that is supposed to be the welfare and security of the people, shouldn't the government actually be Father Christmas?
No. What I mean, it's not the Father Christmas in that area,
context.
in that context. What I mean is that they're supposed to put in structure, put a better place of institution that people can now be, the social enterprise will be there. But you discover that people are not seeing anything. As I said, we are looking on how to put food on the table. They came out, there's a lot of scarce, a lot of hike here, hike there. So they cannot really function. And they see government as a means of getting something. And if through the election process, and they see what we call a see and buy or vote buying and the rest, like what the political party have been giving materials, giving money to go and sow the materials, all this shows the level of what government have put the people into. It's like now they don't have the mind of their own to think. So they are now looking at an avenue where they can have this money. If you are equipped, if you are well, if you are an entrepreneur, you have your daily income, you are okay. No government will come to you and say they are giving you material and with some little change for you to go and sow the material before you can. You know what I'm trying to say now? So, but there is no, the standard of living is very poor. They are living below $1 in quotes. So when this issue comes, it's like enticing them. It's like inducing them to come out. They will tell you, I have my voter's card. You can buy it. They started, it's the people. You see the people saying that, when last have I received this free money? And if you want to get my vote, this is my voter card, give me some stipends, I can vote for you. So they are not looking at issue, as we rightly said here. They are not looking at issue. They are looking at it as a carnival in court, that this is the time for me to have see governor and then see their agent, then I can have something. But that shouldn't be after what we have passed through in our subsequent election. We should be thinking about issue base. And if government can put all these parameters in place, I think all this issue of buying or vote shouldn't be. We should be thinking of, okay, what have you done? What campaign now is on money, because if you go to a normal person in the local and say you are canvassing, they'll be looking at you. But the moment they see something that can entice them, like money aspect, they will jump out and tell you that they have, in fact, their card, their voter's card is as new as ever. See, their voter's card is as new. They keep it for such day. They will bring it out and say, this is my, but if you want my vote, you have. So the government have made the people not to be able to think and see that voting them, you should vote people of credibility and of integrity to the place, because now they have no structure. They have nothing to fall back to. So that's what you see when
so it's just an opportunity to get something from the government. They've not been having all the way, if you put it that way. Okay. Now, some of the incidences that took place today, there was heavy rain earlier today around Ekpoma and Oriomo from the reports we got. Sure. And it kind of hampered the people coming out. But that has calmed down now. We also had an issue of card reader complaints from Akoko Edo, also in Etsako West. From the one in Etsako West, we understand has been taken care of. We'll wait to hear the issue, the complaint from Akoko Edo local government as to how that has been fixed. We also have an incident of missing result sheets from Onwa West local government area earlier. We hear that that has been fixed as well from the reports we got. We have our reporters scattered across the local governments of Edo State. We'll certainly bring you up to speed with developments across the local government. There are also election observers also scattered across the local government as well. Now, we have with me Francis Shonobi, and we are doing analysis of what is going on in the governorship election in Edo State. All right, now let's come to the issue of INEC. INEC itself is the umpire for this election, and from what they have said and what everyone is expecting, there's going to be free, fair, credible election, governorship election. But let's talk about the progress made by INEC, if we make comparison with what is going on now, the process going on now, and what has been. Are there areas of commendation, or are there areas you think INEC should still improve on what they're putting on ground so far? What are you seeing?
Actually, the way I look at it, if you look at the population, we are looking at the percentage and everything. Well, see, you agree with me that about 400 plus of uncollected
483,000.
483,000. That shows that INEC is not upping their games. What I mean by upping their games is that there's supposed to be more enlightenment, like going on here, using their local dialect in Edo, preaching to them that they should come and pick up this card. Because it shows that INEC, to me, they are trying, but they need to up their game. When you talk about election in Nigeria, I see INEC supposed to use this platform to educate electorate and citizens, to make them, it should be a kind of a close relationship. Not when it's like 1 week to the election that you now start hearing them coming out. Federal government, or they should put more resources in enlightenment. Let INEC go out to the grassroots and educating them, making it a kind of a campaign enlightenment. Because as I told you in my analysis, people in the rural area have lost hope in the government. They see government, because they will tell you they are the one taking care of their drainage, they are the one taking care of everything, they are the one paying they've got
becoming government in their own self of some sort.
So seeing government, they will just look away, they will look aside, they will look as if nothing is happening. But INEC is supposed to be an umpire that people can relate and have trust in. But what do we have when we have 483,000 uncollected PVCs? It shows that they are not upping their games. And concerning prior to now, you see when there's now, actually INEC, to me, INEC should try as much as possible not to be partisan in any election. We have cases that you see them, conniving with political parties and
but at least to be fair to INEC on one hand, we've heard some officials who were found in that regard have been prosecuted and suspended and even dismissed sometimes from work.
You are right. So what I'm saying is that our electoral body should be more proactive in giving enlightenment to the electorate. They should be more proactive. We should we are in the 21st century where we now look at issues. Social media is there. You can use all this all this platform to let the people understand that you are not going to be biased. You are going to be a just umpire, and people will be able to readily come. And again, the issue of registration should be continuous. Not that they should make it when they are having any election.
It shouldn't be seasonal.
It should be seasonal. It should be continuous, because by now, if you are 17 in last year December, by maybe this coming December you'll be 18. You should be able to walk into any of the official INEC office and then do your capturing and have your card. It should be continuous process, not season when they will not give you a date time, a timeline to store. No, it should be. So when we get there, that is when the people will say yes, they are trusting the INEC in whatever they are putting in place. So I look at it that the INEC should up their game, and they should try to be closer to the people, and they should make enlightenment to the people, so that people can now see INEC as being fair. They can see INEC as a just umpire, not this bias of like, okay, the government in place are the one running INEC. Some quarters they will tell you INEC is just like a car, and the government is the key that he starts the car.
That perception has to change.
It has to change.
Okay. Right. Now, talk to us basically. When it comes to the entire process, the electioneering process, from the times of campaigns to the collation of results, what do you think is the weakest link on that entire chain?
Actually, the weakest link to me is from the collation point and and where we have to make results, have to put the collation center. What I'm saying is that if you watch closely, you will see that the people, the ad hoc staff of INEC and the rest, they are human beings like us, and the way they do with all this sensitive material, inputting matters. For example, you can see that the weakest link is where they are going to assemble all these results.
All the results.
That is it. You will now see a lot. In fact, you see a lot of what I use the word allotment. When I say allotment, is that okay? When I'm leaving Ward 5 or Ward whatever in Esako West or thereabout, I have this, all the agents, party agent, the 14 party that is involved in this election have already signed off that we have 10 votes. By the time you get to the main collation center, you will discover the stuff that you saw 10. You will now see 0 on the 10, making it 100. And the people will be like, okay, when we are leaving, we are having 10. Now we are getting here, we are seeing 100. You know, all these discrepancies. And because of
hasn't that been corrected over the past elections?
No, it has been. But many of the agents coming out to talk to us and telling us that when we got there, because of the security implication and the rest, they asked us to sign. But what we are bringing is different from what they are. You know, there's what we call bully. There's what, because of security involvement, they could not talk. And
intimidation?
Intimidation. Let me use the word intimidation and bully. And they will say, okay, they will sign off. In fact, some will tell us that I wasn't allowed because of one reason or the other to enter, but someone signed for me. I don't know who signed. I'm not the one. I'm the main agent of my candidate, but I wasn't allowed because they asked me that my card is not, I didn't have card, but at the end of the day, someone signed for me. You know, all these issues is the weakening link, and where I think INEC should focus is that area, that from the ward to the collation center, there should be no bridge, there should be no what I call doctored of document that will not cause litigation here and there from other camps.
All right.
So that's it.
Women have been part of the process, and an average Edo woman is very enlightened.
Sure.
Really very enlightened.
Sure.
And the way we also see is that from the breakdown of the PVCs collected, we have a significant number of females who have gotten their PVCs. And then if you see the number, the queues, the people there, you see a significant number of women as well, ready to, even among the aged. But if you look at the candidates, there are about 14 candidates with only just two women. Now, talk to us. I wonder what you think, though, when it comes to analyzing this, whether the women are not pulling their weight enough to be part of the main decision makers, or the men are not giving them that opportunity. What are you seeing?
Actually, if you look at it politically, and if you look at it, you know, we put many things in place. Where we have to look at our culture and tradition. In Africa, in Nigeria, it's not an exception, where we see the women, it's like a mantra. It's something that has been in the psyche of every home, that man should be the head and the woman should be in the kitchen, as I said. But generally, from our analysis, from the day I understand the Nigerian election, the people that comes out to vote are the female. The females' participation in our election process is something unimaginable. So what I'm trying to say in this area is that, what is it in politics for them to come and join politics? To them, many of my own research so far make me to understand that there's this conversation going on around the female folks, that for you to join politics, you may be a kind of, you are not a stable person, you are not with a husband, you are single, you are too ambitious, you are maybe you are trying to make friends with the big people in politics. That's why the females see themselves. But as you rightly said, out of 14 candidates participating in this process, only 2 are female. What happened? What happened is that we should open up that platform. Before now, we talk about 13% given to the female. Diversity, let them join politics, and we are trying to make them understand that what men can do, their female folks can do better.
We remember the 35% affirmative action.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after the Benin conference of the women, they said they want 35. So they should continue this demand, and they should participate. What is politics? What is this?
But it is one thing to make that demand. It is another thing to build yourself up into taking it. Because the point there is, it is said that these things are not served on the table where you just come and pick yours. You have to demand, and you have to work towards getting it. You
are right, Mike. You are right. What I'm trying to say, in essence, putting the culture and tradition that got to do with our own area we are focusing on now. Women supposed to have this conversation of enlightening, not only enlightening, trying as much as possible to participate in the election process, in joining this political party. Not going there to serve as mistress in court or what have you, but trying to have all the qualities. I'm talking about skills now. have the skills that, okay, this is what I'm going for because of I'm representing my folks now. I don't want to sound feminist, but trying to be part of that process so that when they see a number of women coming into a party formation and making their agitation, as you rightly say, agitating that this is the person we want, this is the person we want, because they have the number. And politics is all about numbers.
Yeah, but do you think it starts from the family? Now, I want to break it down further a little bit. You know, most of the women, they have a cap in two different ways.
Sure.
Either they are someone's husband and they need a permission from their husband to do certain things.
Sure.
Especially when he has to going out, and then some of the meetings will stay into the night and all of that. You're going to require your husband to say you can stay or you may not stay. Number two, there's someone's father somewhere in some instances where you're going to also require permission from your dad or your parents to, and so on. And then when the man who is supposed to give the permission feels that this thing where you're going, from the report I got, there's going to be violence, there's going to be this, you're going to be exposed to this or exposed to that, sometimes they say no. Is that where the biggest challenge comes from?
Sure, we can look at it. It's like you can see it in let me say, three-dimensional way. It's like let's start from the family angle you are looking at now. If I have children and I know their ability, everything got to do with talent, you will try to understand that, oh, this my daughter is outspoken and is representing and is trying to be, trying to make his impression.
Is assertive.
It's assertive.
Yeah.
Then you will know that this person can be the next president of this country. Because when it comes to politics and involving in politics, you have to be assertive and you have to understand what you are going there for. And concerning those that are within, they are married, in fact, I have a lot of cases that husband that knows the potentiality of the wife and he knows that the wife is assertive and is trying to reach out and trying to make herself and her ideas known to the public, give consent that, okay, join. Just know that you have children and you have this, and they give. But in Africa, we see our female gender as weakening link, and they say don't go there. There's going to be crisis. No, all this narrative has to be changed.
With our religion too, especially like in Christianity, where even the Holy Book has said that the women are the weaker link, and sometimes they tend to capitalize on that.
No. We should do away with that.
I think we should move away from.
We should move away from it.
Yeah.
We should not see it as what I say. I am an advocate of women in politics because we need them. It's not when we need them for election that we come. That we
mobilize them to come out. Yeah.
They are ready to come out. Look at the queue just take a look. You will see they are the majority on the queue. Both in the north, in the south, all over the world, women have this passion of coming out to exercise their franchise and do what they need. But they're supposed to be encouraged to go up and do what? In the other country, we are talking of Germany, we talk of Australia, Austria, we talk of New Zealand. See,
Brazil, South Korea, they've all had female presidents.
Why is Africa, why is Nigeria now at the back?
And even in Africa, we have Johnson Sirleaf in Liberia before, and then Joyce Banda in Malawi before too.
So we should allow them to come out and express themselves, because most we see is bully. Intimidation, trying to bully them because of emotion attached to female folks. They will bully them. But we should allow a playing ground, give them rights, even though if we are the political actors and gladiators supposed to be looking at it, encouraging them from the youth to the level of coming to take position of leadership. It should be given. I was talking to a lady that trying to contest in those election was telling me I wasn't given the chance. The INEC they exclude my party and the rest, and they were in the court and say, okay, I empathize with you, but continue, don't give up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's a continuous process.
It's a continuous process.
But other people have argued that there shouldn't be this separation or dichotomy between men, women in that situation. That it should just be anybody who has the capacity, who has the passion, who has the will, who has the wherewithal, should just go into the ring instead of trying to separate the issue or the idea or the debate around men,
and
women.
Women. You know, actually, you know, if you look at it from the founding fathers, you look at, let me just go deeply to Fumilayo Ransome-Kuti, you know, during the
exactly.
our independence.
And the days of Margaret Ekpo.
Margaret Ekpo. See them coming out, they are showing what they are made of, and they are being assertive, and they put the process, and they show their legacy in the soil of time. So we should not, I am not in support of this a conversation of telling the women that they should just reserve in the kitchen, in the other room, as we rightly say, but we should be giving them, we should allow them to come out and exercise and then participate. If you can use them during the election, why don't you give them room to come out and participate? Make it more diversity in terms of deliverables. We see them being a good leaders. We see them taking care of our kids at home, so they can take care of whatever position they are. I saw in this country we have first female speaker, you know, being a female. So we should allow this, you know, this process to continue, so we can have a rich political.
Yeah, I still remember when we had the first female speaker in the person of Margaret Iche in Benue State, and there was a lot of encouragement, a lot of joy from Nigerians, and it made a lot of news at that time as well. It's okay.
So I support that.
Okay. Now let's get into the issue of security now, which is a very pivotal issue in this election. Now, recall that the Inspector General of Police announced that 31,000 police officers were deployed for this assignment in Edo State, and the debate as to whether heavy security presence scare the people or creates confidence in the people is there. Talk to us from that window.
Okay, from the old window, what I say is that, you know, I keep on asking myself, whenever I'm doing my analysis about what is going on in Nigeria and everywhere around us, I said to myself, we call it misplace of priority. Why I say misplace of priority? Yes, security is invisible. When we talk about security, it's invisible. But before now, we have policemen, officers of, in Edo State, okay? Why is it that when we are having an election, that's when we now move over 31,000 to election process, knowing fully that we have 550,000 supposed electorate that will come out and vote. Not every the 2.1 or 1.7 million you will see, but now we are trying to encourage everybody to come out and emphasize, exercise their franchise. And now you are now deploying 31,000 policemen to that state to control crisis. No. One thing I know about Edo election that I've studied is that 48 hours to election, there will be drumming of crisis. There will be drumming of tension here because all political parties will try to outsmart one another. But the moment is in that eve or that day of election, everything dies. Then we have some small spotlight. The police, the IG is supposed to have done their evaluation. Because coming with 31,000 is like war, you are declaring a war, and everybody will go, then it will not become affairs of the politicians. But if you want people to come out, because now I've called about, before coming to the studio, I've made some few calls, and they were like, we're not going out to, because they are...
Voter apathy.
But that's it. That's what I want to make mention. Voter apathy has already been created with a huge number of 31 police officers and men deployed to come and just monitor an election.
But one would expect that the presence of a police officer should give you the sense of security.
Sure, but we have, that's what I'm saying, the Edo State has, they have, it's no, when you talk about police, I said police is a federal organs of the government, and they have police officers and men. If now, for you bringing other people coming from other stations, deploying them, means that you don't have confidence in what those security apparatus that is on place, so to checkmate, right? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that, yes, seeing the presence of police officers at the polling unit or the ward level should give some level of confidence. But what do we have in this country? What do you have in the modern day? Talking to our reporters on site, they will tell you that the policemen that came, from anywhere they came, they are human beings, like other policemen that are there. So what are they coming there for? Instead, we're going to have what we call voters' apathy. Because people will not come out. Instead of them saying that, yes, we can come out, they will be like now, we heard news that one incident of shooting occurred in
Ipoboka.
Ipoba. And the people will now say, yes, and they blow it, we have this cell phone, and they will just be tweeting.
Out of proportion.
Out of proportion, and everybody says, I'm not coming out, Everyone, and so what I'm saying is that, yes, it's imperative we should have police presence, but we should not blow it out of proportion. We should be able to evaluate the security situation. Yes, we talk about the accord, the peace accord that Abdul Salam and Oba of Benin had, and we're able to sign this accord, and which is normal thing, and the message will go out there that no war, what we want is peace. But bringing the presence of now 31, and as I used to see, it's more of, it will be a hardship on the people. The people will not come out. They will just stay indoor. The few people you see, at the end of the day, you will not see that, okay, in last year we have like 30. Now we are having like 15, meaning that there's a voters declining because of the police presence. Because nobody want to lose their life.
Do you think there should be some level of experimentation? I was asking this question earlier to my former guest. Do you think we should experiment with reducing the number of police officers deployed for such election and seeing how the people conduct themselves?
What I advocate for, and the way I look at it, is that it's not experiment.
Okay.
It's what I see that is, we need to understand the terrain you are going to. We need to engage the locals. The people, anybody that is trying to foment trouble in any locality, the people should know that person, because it's not, they are not like a masquerade. They are known people, and the local people should be able to understand that what do you want. It's supposed to be a kind of, what I call it, a summit. Let me call it summit. Summit in the sense that you will call the leadership, the traditional, everybody in that locality, and have a summit and tell them that, look, we want a peaceful process in this electioneering. What is your proposal? What do you think is the best for us? Because I know in Nigeria, the moment you start doing things without understanding what is going on,
the peculiarity of the locality,
you are out of it, because at the end of the day, you will not get the result you needed. So you have to engage the locals. What do you think? Okay, yes, we have some vigilante, we have some people that we have already employed that we can do, that can mount this. Yes, you bring few to checkmate those people that you are bringing to, so that they cannot compromise. So when they see a professional coming with the local security agency, there will be a kind of a checkmate in that process, and everybody will see people coming out. Not the one that you will not deploy thousands as if there is a war. You are declaring a state of emergency in court in an election that's supposed to be a free and fair. Yes, that's what I. That's
where they're supposed to be, it's supposed to look like like a carnival.
A carnival.
We remember in Lagos State in the last election. In fact, some people took it upon themselves to, bring out canopies. They cooked rice. In some places, it was amala they brought. And then voters who, there were chairs all over the place with water and everyone. And then before you go to vote, it doesn't matter who you are voting for. So long as you're within that ward, you go there and vote. Others brought in different kind of drinks, and they were playing music. It was really interesting.
Actually, you are right. You are right in that, But as I said, it's nice. It's like I served in this local government, in Agatu local government of Benue State. Okay. I serve in the rural area, and I see the way Nigerians comport themselves during this type of election. See the way the Nigerian NYC core members are conducting this. They see us as government presence. And they are, Nigerians, the way I see Nigerians, are the most fantastic people to live with. On average, Nigerians want things to go in order. They are not this fussy or this. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, in this type of election, it's supposed not to be a do or die affair. It's supposed to be a carnival, based on what you said, whereby every party will make things more and more fun fair, fun.
Exactly.
Fun. Because we are talking about good governance. Is there good governance? No, the question is no, because everybody is like, okay, what am I going to get? What am I going to get? And everybody's propaganda here, tension will now rise because everybody want to feel, I want to be, I'm the owner. And one thing we should learn in this process is that we should be able to say, no victor, no vanquish. The loser should be able to congratulate immediately whoever wins in an election.
As it happened in 2015 presidential election.
Before the end of the election, the former president called the president Muhammadu Buhari and said, they are still waiting for
the final
data.
results.
They are waiting for Delta State. I don't know, because we are watching. They are waiting for data results. The sitting president is already congratulating the incoming.
The winner of the election at that time.
That's how it should be. We should look at it in such a way that it's not do or die. It should be, because we are going there to serve the people. The people should be the first thing in any leader. And when we are talking about this, we should make it fun, fair, so that it will not be do or die. Because if it's not you today, it will be the other person tomorrow. And in Nigeria, as you see, you can easily leave from A to P and P back to A. You know, it's like cross-carpeting is other. So you should not make it. Why are we killing ourselves? So it should be a free for all, and everybody should see it as call to serve. Call to serve. If we have that in our mind, there should be no bloodshed, there should be no touting, there should be no crisis or whatsoever. As I rightly said, and I'll keep on saying it, that it's high time we look at governance. Governance should be our major words. How do we put writing in place? Because during this COVID-19, as you can agree with me, global pandemic, people are suffering. People are looking at government policy that can better them, that can bring food on their table. Not this political brouhaha here, you have to be killing all in the name of politics. And when you get there, try to do what you need to do to the people, because the people cast their ballot for you to be there.
All right. Now, we have Ondo election coming up in less than one month from now. Yeah. From the way INEC conducts election, do you think there will be lessons to especially when it comes to the commencement of the process? Because we saw in some places, materials arrived 30 minutes or even ahead of time.
Sure.
Then in other places, there was still a delay reason. Up to about 45 minutes, up to about 1 hour. What do you think should be replicated? Because for every opportunity of election conducting, we should get better.
Actually, Edo, as I said, being an historical and a cultural state in Nigeria, this INEC should sit down and do evaluation, because in no time, we are going to have the
Ondo election.
And the funny and the most interesting aspect is that if you are talking about Edo and Ondo, they have similarities. There's a lot of similarities, because they are, in fact, you will see Edo in Ondo and you see Ondo in Edo. So, and the heat, the tension is similar. What I think INEC should
they're just neighboring states to each other.
They are neighboring states to each other. It takes you just, let's say, 1 hour, 145 minutes, you are already in Benin, you are already in Akure, you know, that kind of a thing. Yeah. They are neighboring to each other. The lesson the INEC should be looking into is that they should evaluate the process, the results, how they were able to conduct Edo and replicate in Ondo. And, you know, in Ondo, you see in Ondo now, you see a lot of issues. INEC now in Ondo, they have issues, their office got burnt, and there's a lot of issues there, and that gives great concern to voters, electorate in that state. So INEC should be able to put a system in place whereby deploring their sensitive material, if you like, you can make use of this, what they call it, this tricycle. If the road is not roadworthy, make use of tricycle, make sure that all this sensitive material got to the venue on time, so that people will not lose faith or confidence in the electoral election process. And mind you, all these areas are areas for politicians to use for their rigging and what have you. So we should be able, because anytime you hear a ballot did not arrive, what happened? Something is happening. Yeah. In Nigeria, something has gone wrong. Maybe someone has been compromised in between that process. But at times you see where you will
sometimes it's just a fault in the logistics.
That's what I'm doing by logistics. So you have to see areas that, okay, this area is not motorable, or we can't get there, or what can we deploy that can make it faster. They should put it and make sure that all this material got there on time, because time waits for no one in election.
And another issue is card readers that have faults here and there. We saw at least a few reports of card readers being faulty in some of the places.
Actually, I keep on saying this. Nigeria is a great country. I don't want to use nation because we have different languages. Great country in the sense that when we are talking about INEC, my emphasis is on INEC. You use a card reader in 2019 and no servicing, nothing whatsoever. You just dump it in your warehouse with a lot of moist there, and then all of a sudden you just woke up and say, we are having an election. Let's go back and take, and these are appliances.
But the INEC chairman, to be fair to INEC chairman, because when they issued out all of these preparation, giving updates, they talked about the issue of training and retraining of staff whom they certainly said that has taken place. They talked about the issue of upgrading all of the materials they'll be using and all of that. So we don't expect that those things have been in the warehouse somewhere and then they were just brought out from the warehouse.
Why I'm saying this is this. If you watch closely with interaction I have here and there, and I discover that all this, at times you come up on the media to give an impression, we call it impression, impression. But the real thing is, the message you gave to the public, is it the real thing happening? Then we start asking, for you to know that it's not the real information or the real things happening, is when you start hearing that car radar are not working. There's a problem here and there. But you told us that you have taken care of it. Why are you having issues?
All right. Well, when it comes to technology, anything can happen sometime. Thank you so much, Francis Shonobi, for your time and analysis and all the insight on, on the governorship election in Edo State.
You, Mike.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mike.